What's up guys, I'm Screaminal and today I want to show you how two GTX 960s that are 4GB and SLI do in The Witcher 3. So in my first video I said that I wasn't planning on getting a 1440p monitor, but Christmas was kind to me and so now I have one. And now I need to kind of decide if I want to keep these 960s in SLI or go ahead and upgrade to a 980 or 980 Ti. So I wasn't planning on doing, but I might have to do it. So the first thing that we're going to do is put the graphics on ultra and the post-processing as high as it goes. It might be kind of a home run ball, but I kind of just want to see what the maximum ability of these two cards are in 1440p. So let's go ahead and get that started. Now, while it loads, I just want to comment on my setup right now. So these cards are super clock cards. Right now I have MSI Afterburner running, but just for a fan curve, I decided to put down the cards to base clock speeds for this video. So first thing I noticed when I put all of these graphics on extremely high was that it does look a little choppy. I mean, it looks nice when I'm standing still, but overall it's pretty choppy and it's getting around 35 frames per second, which just isn't really going to cut it for me. It is better than consoles, but still not really what I'm looking for. Alright, so next I'm going to go to the graphics and I'm just going to change Hairworks off. Okay, so let's see how many frames I'm able to get just by turning that off. And I'm hoping it'll be pretty good. Alright, that was about like a 7-frame jump, maybe. Okay, so once you turn off the Hairworks, it seems to do really well at ultra settings. I mean, it's not as good as 1080p, obviously, when I was getting closer to 55 to 60. But I mean, 10 frames for 1440p, not too bad of a trade-off. And even through that fight sequence, wasn't doing too bad. It dipped a little bit lower than I really would have liked. And finally, I'm not really happy with what the frames are getting for that right now. So let's go to medium post-processing and now see where it gets up to. So now it's squeaking up a little bit closer to that 50 mark. Around 45 for this game really isn't that bad. It looks cleaner, it looks smoother. I noticed the gameplay when I was taking it was a little bit better with these settings. But I mean, overall, it's definitely playable at this 1440p with the 45 frames per second. Now finally, I'm just going to turn off essentially the post-processing and pretty much see how high we're able to get this to go. I don't want to ever change those graphical settings. I really like it being ultra, and I'm kind of hoping that we'll get a little bit closer to 60 frames. Okay, so the frames end up topping out close to 60, but in general they're hovering around 50 to 55 frames per second. And now on to more of my opinion of this setup. So SLIing the 4GB 960s is surprisingly viable. I really didn't expect it to do nearly as well as it did. I was thinking I was going to have to put the graphical qualities down to probably like medium or high if I was lucky. But being able to keep them at ultra and still have very smooth gameplay came as an immense relief. I still may or may not scrap these to get a 980 Ti, but it's not as important as I originally thought it was. And then from a money standpoint, you got to look at it like the 980 Ti is going to be around $600 at least, and then the 4GB 960s are $200 a piece. So is it worth 50% more money to go with the 980 Ti versus two 960s? You're just gonna have to make that decision on your own. I can deal with those 45 frames. But if you're somebody that really wants to be hitting everything at 60 frames per second, this setup probably isn't going to be best if you still want to have ultra quality settings. Um, if I end up getting the 980 Ti, I'll show some videos on that. But until then, I'm Screaminal, and I'll see you guys later.